Everybody. Just seeing if this is working right now. All right. We are live. What's going on, everyone? So, I'm going to start by making a bucktail jig for walleye. Walleye season's coming up in my neck of the woods. Walleye and pike are going to be opening soon. So something that I can jig walleye vertically is a bucktail jig. So I will make it by grabbing some of this chartreuse um, bucktail fur. Let's see if I can adjust this a little bit. Sweet. All right. So I'm grabbing a little bit of this fur. I just grab a little bit at a time. Like maybe 20 strands or so, or 30, 20, 25 strands at the base of the tail, kind of line it up with my bait. All right, got my base. And I'm just going to start my wraps by going two really kind of light wraps and then getting tighter with my wraps until I get to a really kind of set wrap. Oh, yarn broke. Got a new tripod for my camera, so hopefully this is a better angle. Testing it out today. All right. First wraps got on perfectly. I'm gonna make the chartreuse in white, or I might go with the full chartreuse bait here, just because I like the head color. But I might make half chartreuse, half white kind of thing. All right. So I'm gonna grab the same amount of fur and kind of go all the way around this bait. So I covered the top of that bait. I'm gonna do this side now. Grab a little bit here. How's it going, Larissa? All right, just putting some more wraps on this. So just making um, a walleye jig here, a bucktail jig on a power bait uh jig head. Broke my string again. Darn. Gonna be making it in chartreuse and white, very popular color. Um, I'm gonna be using this in a river where I'm from. Uh, Walleye are opening up soon with pike, and this bait can be used for both. How I'm gonna be using it, I'm just gonna be popping it along bottom on the river and seeing what I can get with it. It's more of a reaction bait than fish thinking it's kind of like a minnow. If I made it a more of a white and kind of a natural presentation, then it could more resemble a minnow. But it's gonna more resemble just not really anything, just kind of a presentation they haven't seen. So hopefully I can get a reaction bite on it. Let me know what colors you guys want to see. If you guys want to see a streamer or bait for trout, bait for crappie, bait for bass. And what's everybody going to be up to this weekend? Anybody going fishing? All right. Kind of want to keep all these little bits the same here. Don't want to add too much on one side versus the other. I'm just covering half this bait with chartreuse, then I'm going to switch to white with some easy wraps, and then tightening up that. All right. Tightening up my wraps, just securing that hair on the jig. I'm gonna clean up the neck right at the end of my of all my wraps. So I've got the backside done. Now I'm gonna start working on the inside of this bait. Um, gonna be going with a white. This is a bucktail. My buddy Corey shot last year, and he was so nice to donate me this white-tailed deer hair, specifically the tail, so I can get some hair jigs made. So shout out to Corey. I like picking from the base of the tail a lot of the times. A lot of the best stuff is right down there. A lot of it's tangled and just need the best hair. Usually go right down to the base, and then I can adjust sizes later. You want to see a trout bait next? Yeah, cool. Um, this for this bait, I'm gonna be using it just on a rod and reel, and what I'm gonna be using it for is walleye and a river system around my house. That walleye aren't open yet, but I'm just preparing for walleye now, and hopefully I can get this down there and catch some walleye on it. So there's a walleye bait called the bucktail jig. It's pretty simple rig. You don't need any extra kind of soft plastics, which is the best thing about it. Man, this string is kind of falling apart on me here. It's breaking a whole bunch. A lot of times, it could be just how tight you're going with it. Maybe you just need a little looseness on your bobbin. Um, but yeah, it shouldn't be breaking this much. I'm just putting too much pressure on it. Anybody got any plans this weekend for fishing? All right. Just trying to get this string through the bobbin here. Kind of having some technical difficulties. Can be tedious. If you are new to fly tying, a little tip I can give you is when this does happen, and it's eventually going to happen where your thread breaks, is when you're feeding it through the tube, you can kind of suck it like a straw and get that thread through that through the bobbin. All right, I gotta lock in here. Yeah, so by my house there's a river called the Grand River. It's got a whole bunch of species. It's a little local fishery. Has a bunch of walleye, pike, bass, big crappie in it, and baits like this can be really good for when that opening day hits. Never have to wait for soft plastics or wondering if fish bit off the end of my soft plastic. I could just put it on, not think about it, and go. So that's the best part about this bait. It took me a couple weeks to learn really how to tie baits like this, uh, and to really perfect it. I still haven't got my skills down to what I want it to be. Like there's stuff I can clean up with, like the neck sizes on some of my baits and stuff like that. But yeah, it's as long as you get the knots all figured out and like how to whip finish and get a whole bunch of different new stuff or bait or fly. This is gonna be a jig. I'm gonna be tying a fly next, a streamer fly for steelhead and brown trout. This is a walleye bait that I'm gonna be using in a river near my house. Ryan, you got any plans for the weekend going fishing at all? What's going on, Caden? All right, just cleaning up the neck of this bait. About to be done with it. We'll move on to our next fly. Seeing the guy above say trout bait being Scottish. We mostly trout fish. Works flies exclusively. Cool. I haven't really gotten to fly fishing as much as I have wanted to in the past. I am gonna pick it up this year a lot. That's why I'm tying my own flies. I really learned fly tying when I'm tying bass marabou jigs. So I'm a tournament bass fisherman, and so I really throw a lot of these kind of little panfish baits for crappie or for sorry for bass, and they're really effective when like a mayfly hatches and stuff. And these are the baits I use throwing for bass. So I just started fishing for I just started fishing for bass and tying these jigs, and then eventually started tying bucktail jigs like this one here. And then recently figured out how to start tying streamers for fishing trout in the Niagara River where I'm from. Um, and yeah, it's been really fun. I do find fly fishing a little bit more challenging. Fly fishing and fly tying, they're both a little challenging, but I kind of like the challenge. And I know fly fishing, I have done it before for panfish, and it could be really, really rewarding when those fish want nothing but those little tiny flies on top of the surface. You're not going to make them eat anything else that you're going to fish with terminal like rod, normal rod, spinning rod and reels. You barely see bass in Scotland. You guys have some other fishing, I'm guessing that is a little better than ours, like your carp and your. I'm sure your pike is probably a little better than ours too. I don't know if that's Scotland or Sweden. I've seen that you guys fishing is a lot better. Sorry if my answers are a little delayed. I'm looking off of my laptop for the chat here. Nice, Caden. Yeah, I would agree with you, Ryan. It feels a lot more rewarding when you're fly fishing. I feel like you're a lot more connected to the fish when you're fly fishing versus just traditionally fishing with a spinning rod and reel. I can't wait to for the season to begin and start trout fishing in the rivers and creeks around my house because we do have. I am pretty lucky to have a lot of good trout opportunities around me that I haven't uh, really I haven't really done much of just because I've done more bass, but I'm really trying to get into my multi-species recently. Done a lot of panfish, crappie fishing, pike fishing over the past little bit. That even a little bit of muskie. So been a lot of fun. Trout, pike, carp, the occasional salmon if you're lucky on a river. We get a trout run too, but it's mostly in all of our Great Lakes. So I'm from I live right near Lake Ontario. I'm in between Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. So we mainly fish for bass. There's a little bit of pike. I don't think they're as big as they are in Scotland. Um, but you guys carp fishing, you guys are nuts about your carp. I know that. They're hard fighting fish. They're a lot of fun to fish for. I'm gonna definitely have a few more episodes of carp fishing in the future. Fisheries, cool. What's your favorite fish to target, Ryan? Like, are you more of a trout or a carp guy over there, or even a pike guy, or whatever bites? All right, with this streamer, I think I'm gonna go with a blue and white mix. I made a fly blue and white the last stream. I just didn't really like how it turned out, so I'm gonna make a new one. Prefer pike. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I do too. Um, I love. We have a lot of pike fishing and back lakes and stuff, and it's a lot of fun to target. Like if a lot of our back lakes, northern Ontario here, there's just like it's loaded with pike to where you can't even keep them off your line. Wild bred and harder to track how rare they become. Wow. At least you have fisheries kind of stocking your lakes with trout. That's got to be nice. Just gonna switch my thread to a black thread for this uh, lure or this fly. Scotland's definitely a place I want to go visit sometime though, and I would definitely bring a fishing rod. I'm going to take a trip to Newfoundland pretty soon. And that should be a fun trip. I'm hoping to get on some cod fishing and some brook trout fishing as well. This is always the hardest part is getting this thread in there. There we go. All right, starting with my wraps on the shank of the hook. I've been fishing a wild stocked reservoir near me with 2 to 3 feeders. Been fishing. Better. Oh wow! So it's kind of a it's your pike are kind of like our musky fish, and then our muskie they're titled the fish of 10,000 casts because they're so hard to catch. But very rewarding when you do get one. What's your biggest pike down there? Our pike, big ones go 40 inches. Um, I got my first 40 incher last year off of a dock at my friend's cottage, which was pretty cool. I've got a whole video on that whole fight of that fish. It was um really cool. One of my favorite videos I've posted. It didn't really do as well as I thought it was gonna do for views, but I don't really care. It's kind of a video I like to just watch for my own sake sometimes. How's it going, Carol DeStefano, aka Mom? All right. Just gonna get some blue on top. Going well. I think I took a little bit too much blue on this, so I'm just gonna cut in half, kind of. Largest pike's 12 pounds. Still a good one. Really good one. Yeah. Over here we kind of measure bass in pounds, and then pike is all in done in inches and uh well, I guess we should be doing centimeters. But I kind of do it in inches because all of our tape measures are inches. But yeah. Um yeah, that's still a really good fish. How big is your like dream pike over there? How many pounds? I missed a um I made a bait for walleye. I haven't done that on stream yet, Nick. And yeah, chartreuse and white walleye jig, bucktail. And Ryan, over there, do you fish with like live bait, or do you fish mostly lures, or what do you fish pike with? What's your favorite pike bait? Over here, I really like the Savage Gear stuff. All right. Now that I got that blue strip at the top, I'm just gonna add a little bit of white on the bottom. With these streamers, you don't really add that much bucktail as you would like a bucktail jig for walleye. I just don't need it that full. What bait do you guys want to see me make next? Bass bait, a walleye bait, a pike bait, or not a pike bait, maybe even a bass jig. And what colors do you guys want to see? I could even make some crappie baits, stuff like that. Just two loose wraps and tightening it up with some heavier wraps. Trying lures mostly this year, but live bait's what's catching recently when I've been asking. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Good luck, man. Hope you get one. I'm feeling good vibes for you next trip. I've been telling myself that for trout. Trout over here, at least for me, it's been extremely hard this season. I'm going for brown trout and brown trout, steelhead, and lake trout, and it's been tough. I've gone out probably 3 times this year. One time I went out. Last time I went out, I was filming, and I crashed my drone in the water, and it went for a little swim, and I never got it back. So that was disappointing. But I guess always have the stories to talk to your friends with at my expense. But it's all right. I'm gonna get a trout soon enough. Hopefully, I could take a trout next time I go out. All right. Honestly, that should be enough. Just two little wraps of hair around that right there. That neck's a little bigger than I'd want it to be. If you guys can see that there. To use a magnifying glass to do this. No, I don't. I should be wearing my glasses. Let me go grab them. I got my trusty fly tying glasses now. Oh, well, that's a lot better. Everything's so much clearer. All right, I'm gonna add some flash to this fly. This midge pearl flash. Thanks, Christina. Trying out a new setup here. Got a new kind of tripod out and just ordered off Amazon last night, and it just came in the last hour right before I started this podcast or not podcast, this live stream. So I'm lucky for that. All right, using 4 strands of this midge pearl flash, I'm going to be putting it on the sides of my bait. I'm going to go 4 on this side, 4 on the other, just to give this a little bit more. How's it going, Jess? Just to give this bait a little bit more color on it. How's it going, Lucy? All right. Gonna do the same thing on the other side. Take a strand of this midge flash, trim it down, and fold it over itself. Flashy jig for a flashy guy. Hey, I'm not flashing no one. All right. Another 4 strands on this other side here. Just helps this bait stand out more in the water. Couple loose wraps and then tighten this all down. All right. Looks good. Just gonna trim some of these kind of tag ends. I'm using Shore fly tying scissors. They have this cool curve in the scissor that I can really get into tight to reach places and really get right down to what I want cut without cutting like my string or anything crucial on this bait that's gonna make this unravel. They're also super sharp, so um, it's perfect for cutting like really small pieces of hair. Does kind of look like Blue Jays colors. And I would love a Scottish fishery for trout fishing. I heard it's amazing over there. All right. Got my whip finish done. Gonna trim that close and hit it with some head cement. Get my brush, wherever that went. Or just get a little drop on the top of that and let that kind of sink into all the threads, locking them all in place. Awesome. Like the colors. Thank you, Zia. I mean Lucy DeStefano. This glue is shore fishing head cement glue for fly fishing. It does a really good job. I haven't had any baits unravel themselves yet while using this stuff. But yeah, so it's just it glues right in place. If you want to upgrade from this, there's a UV glue that you could use. And grab a UV light and just put it around the glue and it dries instantly like that. But I just use head cement and let it my baits kind of dry right on this piece right here when I'm fly tying. So I can kind of accumulate a lot of baits and let them dry on this little ridge on my fly tying vise. All right, I think I'm gonna go with another streamer. I'm gonna make it into a woolly bugger or more of a white kind of minnow imitation fly. Lock my hook into place. All right, keep black string on there. Wrap this around itself a few times, kind of locks itself into place, and start going around and making a kind of little seat for the hair I'm going to be putting on this bait. I do not sell the ones I make. What's going on, Cal Hunting and Fishing? I do not sell these, but I think I'm going to be doing a giveaway pretty soon to where I'm going to be having a big giveaway of every single one I make on stream. I'll probably do like a big 3 hour live stream where I give away everything at the end. Um, but I will keep you guys updated on that through my posts tab on Instagram or sorry on YouTube. Nothing much. Just tied a couple baits so far. Tied one walleye bait, bucktail jig I'm gonna be using in the rivers near my house, and then I also tied a new trout bait that or trout streamer that I'm gonna be trying near my house in the Niagara River. Hopefully, catch some browns and steelhead on it. Probably it's more of a brown trout color. I do not exclusively do homemade baits. I am sponsored with Pure Fishing Canada, so um, Berkeley, Abu Garcia. But I do like making my own handmade baits. It's kind of more rewarding when you catch one. 3 hours, oh boy. In Syracuse, wow, that's actually pretty close to my area. I live in Ontario, but southern Ontario, in between Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, kind of in the um, Niagara region. All right, let's make this bait. This bait's going to be kind of an all-around bait I'm going to make for steelhead and trout. What kind of fishing do you do, Cal? Do you got any fishing plans for the weekend? There is good fishing up here. So the Niagara River is always good to us. Um, really good bass fishing on the New York side, and well, when Canada has its out of season bass, I kind of just travel over to the border and put a beat down on some buffalo fish. So I go fish smallies in the spring. This is real hair. So the hair I have right now is a bucktail. I had this my buddy shot this deer, and here, let's see if I can get it in shot. My buddy shot this deer and gave me the tail for it, and I used the front and back for tying hair. Um, Kind of every hunting season, guys give me all their extra deer hair, and I tie a bunch of baits. I'll tie some baits for people, but I like to kind of get creative. It lets me be more creative, definitely. The real bucktail is cool, especially when your buddies don't charge you anything when you're tying them baits. It only cost me a couple baits, and I'm off the hook for paying for bucktail. I don't think it's a scent, more of a kind of we're creating a bait to look like a certain thing. So like this bait right now that I'm tying is going to be kind of a minnow presentation. The color of white plus how the hair moves in the water is kind of it kind of moves in a motion to which looks like a minnow swimming or something. I don't think that hair the smell of the hair actually has anything to do with its catchability or anything, but that is a good point. Um, so it's kind of how the deer hair moves in the water that really draws fish's attention. All right, let's grab a little bit more deer hair. I grab from the base of the tail first, usually. Um, I just find the longer pieces are around there. And I'm not grabbing much at a time. It's a really small hook. Um, Making a bass figurine right now on a 3D printer. That's really cool. Kind of like a desk decoration. The cool thing is with oh nice. The cool thing is with this deer hair is that I can um make a whole bunch of different baits with it, from bass baits to crappie baits to trout baits to walleye, and even some pike baits you could use on this, and it really is very versatile. Especially bucktail. Bucktail is probably my favorite thing to tie with, just because of its versatility. And it kind of has a minnow presentation where marabou feathers, another popular thing to tie with, doesn't really have the natural minnow look. It kind of looks like more of a bug in the water than anything. I will tie a marabou jig right after this one for bass. I'll show you guys what I'm using for bass. Yeah, absolutely. I post every single Thursday, and I'm gonna try to post maybe some Tuesdays too. So, um, yeah, I'll see you next stream, and I should be doing a giveaway next stream. So, yeah, come on out and hope you win some baits. Have a good one. Thank you so much for the subscribe. All right, just adding some final touches on this bait here. I think I'm gonna go with some more flash on this one as well. Um, this is just a plain white streamer. It's good for everything, all the way from lake trout, um, brown trout, steelhead. So steelhead's just a rainbow trout, just a lot bigger. Some people in Alaska will say it's not called a steelhead. The ones that are saltwater are called steelhead. Um, but I'm not going to argue with them. So they are really rainbow trout in the on Lake Ontario because they reproduce in freshwater. Add a couple strands of flash on this side. What got me into fishing and making my own jigs? So what got me into fishing is I would always fish with my dad in a lake called Grundy Lake up near Sudbury. There's a no motor. It's a no motor lake, so you're not allowed to bring any like motors or anything with that takes gasoline. No engines or anything. You could only use electrical stuff. But me and my dad went around that lake. Um, Fishing in a canoe. He would paddle me all around, and I would troll off the back for pike. And from there, I joined a bass fishing club and started bass fishing, and then started working at a tackle shop near my house, and met a guy there who got me all into tying my own baits, and then did really good on a couple tournaments with my own stuff. Got 25 pounds on Lake Simcoe with it, and it's been game on since then. It's been really fun, and it seems like everybody else loves it too, or everybody else loves watching it. Definitely peaceful to tie my own baits. Good question, Jess Anderson. By the way, to everybody in the chat, Jess Anderson is my sister-in-law, and she got some exciting news. My parents are great. Jess, congratulations on the baby. Yeah, I'm gonna be a uncle. That's definitely the best news I've gotten all year. He's gonna have to be a fisherman though. All right, done the whip finish on this bait too. I'm glad everybody in the family can make it out to this live stream. It's been a great stream so far. All right, just finishing up this bait here with some more head cement. This is a very common color, and it's great to stock up on in my area. Just a white kind of minnow imitation bait. Let's make a marabou jig. All right. You know what? I'm gonna do something a little different that I haven't done before on stream. I'm gonna make a bass jig. Um, I do have some silicone skirts that I can hand thread on, and let's see if we can make something cool. Gonna be trying something a little new. Um, Lucy, that's a great question. Usually what people do is they get a little tackle box with foam and they hook on the hooks on their foam tackle boxes. But I do not have one of those yet, and I should buy one. Um, so right now they're just in tackle boxes and in little bags like this. After I do an episode, I kind of just shove them in a bag just to keep the hair straight, so it doesn't crimp and stuff. Um, but that is a great question. I should definitely get a new tackle box for all these jig heads. Okay, so for bass jig fishing, I've got my jig head here. What I like to do with my jigs, especially like a flipping jig like this, that I will use for um jig fishing near docks and stuff, is I'm gonna cut this uh weed guard down. So what that helps me to do is that helps me to let the jig when a fish bites this weed guard, this weed guard is gonna go down a lot easier with that little trim of the weed guard. So now when a fish bites, it doesn't take much for that weed guard to go down and get let me stick a fish right in the jaw. So I'm gonna put this in the vise to back this off a little bit. Sweet. Um, I haven't had one completely lose all of its integrity to the bait. I'm guessing after a certain amount of fish you do catch on one bait, it's gonna eventually get messed up. But I haven't had that yet um too badly. This is the silicone skirt I'm gonna be using. I got this on Amazon for really cheap. So I'm just gonna lock it down with some. Do you lose some with big fish? I don't lose much lures on fish, and I don't want that to sound like I'm trying not to be humble or anything. I do lose a lot of big fish, but a lot of the times with my rig that I'm throwing them on, I keep a lot more fish pinned on these baits, and my hookup ratio is actually very good of a hook to land. Just because I use a long rod, a 7'6", to really get that bait out there. And then that 7'6" also acts as kind of a cushion for if a fish shakes its head and stuff like that, to where like I can just get a better hookup ratio, and when it's close to the boat and it shakes its head, it's not going to spit that hook because of my parabolic rod bend in the rod and stuff like that. um yeah, so I kind of got the look of my jig going right now, and I'm just going to go over it with some threads. Just got to sort out some of this plastic. So this kind of keeper for this keeper here in the middle, it's made out of a really cheap material. So if you can get some wraps of a thread on it and lock it into place, it can be really good and just help you not lose that lose um stability in your bait. I will be at Sale this weekend. So, Sale is doing a promotional event this weekend, a spring sale, and I'll be there all day on Saturday. So if you want to come on out and talk fishing, and see what Sale's got, I'll be there all day. You guys are silly. All right, I really hope this goes well. This is a very tedious thing for this jig. Hopefully, it's all worth it. I'm gonna do a whip finish on it. I don't know if I could do a whip finish on this. Might just have to do a little overhand knot on the top of this bait and kind of lock it into place. All right, cut that off, and we have a bass jig ready to be fished. It's got a little bit of purple in it and green pumpkin. Yeah, that is cool. Sweet. I'm gonna see if this next color for the giveaway next weekend. And if you guys show up like you have today, then shouldn't have any problem. All right. So the next uh, jig we're gonna go with is going to be a marabou jig. I'm gonna be using a half head jig um, from Berkeley. All right. I think I'm gonna keep this one a natural color. So in the early season of marabou jig fishing, there's a bug hatch that goes on called a mayfly hatch. And during that time, a lot of bass can shut down and not bite as readily available as they would all other parts of the year. It usually happens just after the smallmouth spawn. And smallmouth sometimes get into a little bit of a funk. And I've realized that this bait does such a great job at mimicking those uh, like bugs that are just hatching on top of the water, that you can get a lot of big fish that are really smart to be dumb for a little bit. And it's a technique a lot of guys kind of overlook. So let's tie one. Yeah, I might not have to ship it too far for the giveaway if you guys all come on and all right. So picking my color, I'm gonna be going with kind of a I would go olive, but I'm kind of low on the greens. I'm gonna go with the brown, just because I have that readily available. So with marabou jig fishing, and tying marabou jigs, finding the right feather is kind of the most important step of the process. So a lot of the times the feathers could be all messed up, like at the bottom of this jig is here. Um, don't know if you guys can see that. I think you guys can. Yeah. Um, like right here with the jig, and right at the top of the jig is where a lot of those better feathers are, right in there. So I'm gonna take off all those really kind of crappy feathers, and kind of strip apart the top of this feather and grab this good fluff for this bait. I'll cut it down a little bit. I want to line up all the tops of the feather with itself. So see how I've kind of got all that bunched up. Cut that down, give it a little hair trim, put it on the back of my bait, and just do a few light wraps, and then a solid little bit of wraps here. All right, got the first little bit on. I'm going to be going all the way around this bait, repeating the same process, getting some good bits of hair and just going all the way around until this bait is absolute fluff ball. The more hair that you get on this bait, the better. Um, the better it's going to look in the water, the more fuller the bait's going to be. These jigs, you could fish them for crappie, but they're mainly a bass jig. I found the most success with these jigs, giving a long cast and slowly reeling them in for bass. And they're a lot of fun to fish for bass. These small jigs, and these big 5 pound smallmouth that just absolutely love them. All right, good question, Jess. Tight lines, Dad. Hope you have a good sleep. All right, one wrap, two wraps, and finish up the wraps just like that. So this is kind of just a light brown color, very natural color that fish see a lot, and different bugs and insects that are on the um, lower column of the water. Um, this bait just kind of, if you think you're reeling or working this bait too slow, go even slower. So when reeling in this bait, I go with a speed that's just really slow with my handle. Um, it's supposed to be worked at very slow speeds, um, long cast, really slow speeds, really keeping that bait in the strike zone longer, and just making it look as natural as possible. That's how you can become a better angler with this rig. A lot of people tie these now. Even Northland sells them, and different companies sell their own version of a hair jig. But definitely the most affordable way is tying it yourself. So if you could learn how to tie these baits yourself, you're going to save yourself a lot of money. All right, a little bit came out. This is stuff I still want inside of my bait. So lock that down. Go around to this backside that we haven't got any fur on, and do our last little pass here. All right. just getting all this fluff ready to be put on the jig. Next week's giveaway, I'm going to be getting a lot more different stuff, like different head styles and stuff, jig heads and stuff. So it's gonna be a good live stream. Make sure to tune into that. And if you missed my last video, definitely give that a look because it was a great video. I caught a whole bunch of crappie last weekend, and it ended up being a really cool video too. All right, now time to clean up the head portion of this bait. Kind of looks a little ugly, so take my scissors and I could do a lot of work around this area and just kind of make it look a little nicer. Really take all those chunks of hair out. All right. Now some more wraps of marabou. Sweet. All right. This is starting to look a lot better. Yes, it does, Jess. That's a great question. What the? I don't want to know where those scissors have been. But it's curved. All right. Finish this jig off with the whip finish. And I think that's going to be the last one for the night. All right. That looks good. Clip that. Put this away. Get some head cement on it. These are definitely my favorite jigs that I make to use for bass. They catch a lot of fish, a lot of pressured fish. When a lot of people are on the lake, it's this bait comes in clutch so many times. When just some fish won't bite, this bait will get them to bite. When they just don't want to eat, it makes them eat, and it's such a great bait to throw when the fish are pressured. All right, everybody. thank you so much for coming out. Hope you guys like the video. Please subscribe. And next Thursday I'll be live again, and I'll try to get another video out soon. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Be sure to catch the next one on Thursday.